What's up YouTube, this is me Scabsy, and you're probably wondering, what? A video from Scabsy? Yes, indeed I have uploaded a video and it's going to be of a Quagsire sweep. So if you're hyped to see a Quagsire sweep a whole team, I'm hyped to show you. So stay tuned for that in a little bit, but first of all I'm just going to talk about some other things before I start the battle. So this is a series that I hope to bring to my channel, and I'm going to be calling it Weekly Wi-Fi, where I upload a battle in which I think a Pokemon really shined or swept, as in this case, or just thought it was a great battle in general. So if you don't want to hear any more of this rambling, there's going to be 2 timestamps on the screen that you can either click or slide to, depending on what you're watching this on, just to skip all this boring stuff at the start. But I guess I got to get it out the way since I don't upload videos very often. So first of all, if you want to see what Pokemon I'm using, there are 2 different ways to have a look. One, when I'm using it in the battle, I'll have on the template that you'll see when the battle starts, the sets on the side when I'm using the Pokemon, so you'll be able to reference it straight away. Also, if you want to just see my whole team, look in the description, I'll have all the information down there, so feel free to do that. But when you have a look, pre-warning, I must tell you that I use a very poorly made team, and the sets are very bad, so feel free to cringe and tell me how bad they are in the comments. Also, these battles are from the PSS, so some of the trainers that I verse may not have experience battling, and may not have Wi-Fi made teams, so keep that in mind when watching these videos. When I say this, I'm not implying that I'm the best at battling, of course, since I'm new to the battling scene, about 5 months, which isn't very long. But I will also upload losses, as I don't win every game, so that's a thing. There's not really much else to say. If there is, I'll mention it in the video, but thanks for sticking around to this part, and we're going to go on to the team preview right about now, so stay tuned. Okay, so we are at the team preview right now, and as you can see, there is just a bunch of random Pokemon. So first of all, let me just say, I don't usually follow Smogon tiers. I know it's like a sin these days, but that's a whole other thing for another episode. So, I have what you would call a mixed tier team. I don't specifically use tiers, I just like using Pokemon that I like. And as you can see, my opponent Ryan, who I don't have contact with him, it was just a PSS battle. He's got very suspicious Pokemon, so I'm guessing that he obviously didn't really make this team. It was sort of just whatever Pokemon he wanted to use as well, which I don't really mind. I'm not too worried about what Pokemon other people use. What Pokemon other people use. I have my Scarfed Rotom, my specially defensive Wormadam-Trash, my Assault Vest, Excadrill, my Rocky Helmet Quagsire, physically defensive, my really weird Delphox set, and my really weird Crawdaunt set. But like I said, just look in the description to check that out. He's got himself a Mewtwo, Deoxys, Mew, Greninja, kyurem-black, and a Victini. So without further ado, I don't really have much else to say. I'm not very analytic. Well, I am analytic, but not when it comes to this kind of stuff. I'm just like, yeah, these Pokemon, whatever. So let's get straight into it, and here we go. So Ryan is issuing a challenge. Now, there's not really much to explain, but I hope you like this template. It took me a few hours to make. I know I'm not really that savvy with this kind of stuff, but tell me what you think about it in the comments. And also, like I mentioned in the first segment, if you didn't hear, I'll have the Pokemon sets on the sides. So this first turn is really just a scout turn. My Scarfed Rotom just used Volt Switch, and his Victini just U-turn, so it was kind of like whatever. But as you can see, my Quagsire holds the Rocky Helmet, so his oh my goodness, his Victini takes even more damage. And then I went out into my Quagsire, as you can see, and he went into his kyurem-black. So he went for the Fusion Bolt, and I was really confused because I'm a ground type, but I went for Recover because I wanted to scout again to see what he was doing. I guess he just didn't really know that I was a ground type once again, the inexperienced trainers, all that kind of stuff that I mentioned earlier. But then he goes for Dragon Claw, and I figured I've got a free turn, so I'm just going to set up a Stockpile. And then he went for Free Shock, and honestly I was terrified at this point because Free Shock is a massively powerful move, and it also has a chance to freeze, and yes, I think, or freeze and paralyze, or something like that. It's crazy ridiculous. But I just set up more with my Stockpiles, and I get a recover off, and he really cannot do anything to me, so he decides I'm going to switch out, and he goes into his Mewtwo. And at this point, I was terrified. I was like, most Mewtwo's carry Grass Knot. Sorry, not Grass Knot, Energy Ball. And so I was just praying to God that he did not have Energy Ball. And because as he switched, I used Stockpile, I have all my Stockpiles now. But when he Mega Evolved into Mewtwo Y, I was even more terrified because the special attack is just gigantic. But he went for Psycho Cut, pretty much confirming that he did not have Energy Ball, which is great as I am physically defensive and he gets the Rocky Helmet, all that good stuff. And I just got it with an Earthquake just to test how much damage it would do. He went for the Psy Strike, which I'm pretty sure is like Psy Shock, how it's the special attack and then physical defense. And then I went for Power Up Punch just to get my attack up. And now we're at this turn. Sorry, I know I'm a little bit behind. But if you saw, when he used Aura Sphere, you can actually see the bottom screen because of the camera, so that's pretty funny. Like right now. There you go. But I'm just continuing to heal up, and he gets a crit, and I was terrified. I was fearing for my life because, you know, whenever you get a crit, it always just negates all of the stat boosts that you have had, so it was terrifying. But I lived the second Aura Sphere, or third technically, and I got off a recover, so that was all good. And let me just say, I do not switch out of Quagsire from here. So he's just going to continue to go for Aura Sphere, and I'm just going to continuously take all these hits and Power Up Punch to my heart's content. I'm not sure. But see, the problem with this Quagsire is that it's a defensive set, so it needs some form of move like Scald to burn the opponent, but it doesn't. I'll get back to that in a sec, but this Greninja also could have had Grass Knot, which would have been terrible, so I'm glad I went for the Earthquake, because Quagsire is pretty heavy from what I remember, and it probably would have one-hit KO'd me, so yeah. And pretty much from here, it's just, he can't do anything to me, and I am just going to sweep through his team. And that is how it is done, ladies and gentlemen. But back to the point, having Power Up Punch on this Quagsire is cool for this kind of thing, but it's pretty impractical, especially when you think about a Pokemon like Gengar or Mismagius, or even a Pokemon like Xatu or something that quad resists or is not affected at all by my moves. So I really need really ought to change it to either Toxic or Scald. The reason I didn't use Scald is because I figured I already have a main water type, and I lowered my special attack, and I was like, I kind of want to boost my attack so I can do something, but I don't know, I think Toxic is the way to go. Even though I do have Toxic on my Wormadam, you can never have too much Toxic for your wall, so I guess that's fine. He really can't do anything. Everything he's doing is just going in vain because it's just delaying the inevitable. His Inferno does miss there, which means I didn't get burned, but in reality, the burn wouldn't have mattered because I still would have been able to recover off any damage, and he wouldn't have been able to recover the damage that I would do in time for him to live. However, as you'll see in a few seconds, this kyurem-black does carry the roost, so, you know, I don't think he would have got through to me. But he may have got a crit or something, which could have changed the game. But with him having a really lowered Mewtwo and his Kyurem not being able to do much to, I guess, 6 Pokemon, it wouldn't have been that hard to come back from Quagsire getting knocked out from Kyurem anyway, even though he didn't. So that's pretty much the battle. He goes for the free shock again. I take him out with the Earthquake, goes into his Mewtwo, and he just decides to forfeit. I know it's kind of like taking it a bit far, but that Earthquake crit did not matter because he wouldn't have been able to roost the next turn because he would have had to be locked in. Oh, pardon me. Been locked into free shock. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that Quagsire sweep. I know this video was really long for no reason whatsoever, but as I said at the start, you can always skip it. So, if you did watch the whole video, thanks so much. If you didn't, I'm not going to blame you because it was kind of random and just a bit talky. But feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe if you want. It would really be greatly appreciated. So I hope to bring awesome battles like this in the future. Let me know what you thought of all the components, like the microphone, the video quality. I took the video on my iPod, so it's not the greatest of qualities, but it's not too bad considering I can't afford a capture card. Also, if you like the intro or just the general sound of it or anything, I don't know, just let me know in the comments. And also feel free to suggest some Pokemon because I really want to make some new Pokemon because these Pokemon are really, really crappy. But I do make my Pokemon legit, so I don't like save them in or whatever it's called. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I know I've said a lot in this last section, but I'm just very happy with Quagsire at the moment. So I'm going to try and get a battle for you for next week, and see you guys later. Bye bye.